Hello there, my name is Mr. Smarlonky. Welcome to a different kind of video. I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts on Total War Warhammer. Because I so far haven't really done that yet. By the way, footage in the background, I'll probably just put up some of the Blackfire Pass gameplay demo that they showed about a month ago or so. I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna talk about the video in particular, but I do want to do like a series where every time they upload one of these videos, I want to do like commentary. But I'd like to do it with the game audio, but I can't do that if I use their video, because obviously they've got their own commentary over it. So I need to have it like without their commentary. Anyway, that's for a different time. But that's something I do want to do. But anyway, so yeah, there's some random footage in the background without audio, because yeah, otherwise you'd be hearing their commentary as well. So anyway, my thoughts. I've been getting questions since the game has been announced a few months ago at this point, or I'm not even sure how long, maybe like half a year, I don't know. It's been announced a while ago, and I've been getting questions like, what are my thoughts on the game? Am I excited? Am I not excited? Do I think it's alright they're going into a different direction? Etc. Tons of questions, essentially. I never really spoke my mind about it, because I never was really sure. To me, I don't really care whether it's historical or non-historical or fantasy, I suppose, as long as it's a good game. I think, because the Total War, the franchise itself, I'm generally interested in the gameplay and how it plays, more so than the historical or, well, whatever setting is in it. Although, I do have to say, for example, I don't dislike, but I prefer Shogun 2, Rome 2, Attila, etc. over Empire/Napoleon, because I'm just not a big fan of using guns in Total War games, or not like guns are used in that kind of game anyway. I just feel like I don't know, it just takes away some of the tactic of the game. But anyway, so I'm excited about Warhammer so far because of the gameplay that I've seen, especially again the videos in the background, the Blackfire Pass demo. It looks pretty good. Of course, it's scripted. We've had scripted videos before from them. I think it was for Rome 2. That was a scripted video which looked really awesome. People were excited, etc. Turned out to be pretty crap, of course. It's been fixed now, but you know, it was pretty crap at release. That's what the general consensus anyway. So I'm still keeping like some hope, and well, I'm keeping my my excitement in reins, or whatever. I don't know how I want to say it, but yeah, I'm trying not to get too excited, because I need to get my hands on it first before I can really make a judgment call on that. But so far from what I've seen, I've definitely got hope that it'll be a good game. But that's nothing to do with what setting it's in. Like, from the gameplay, from what I've seen, it's good. And like I said, it doesn't really matter what setting it is for me, because as long as it's a good game, I feel like I've made this point pretty clear now. As long as it's a good game, I don't really care what setting it is. So anyway, then we actually get to the point, like the actual setting. Warhammer, I never really did anything with Warhammer. That was my main gripe with it when it was first announced, is that I didn't really care that it was like whichever way they were going to go. Except with Warhammer, I have never played Warhammer. I've never done anything with Warhammer. The only experience with Warhammer I've got is Warhammer Online, or whatever it was called, the MMO that which servers got closed, by the way, like 2 years ago or something. I think it was a game made by EA, perhaps. I'm not sure anymore. But I bought that, and I enjoyed it. It was just an MMO though, and like, that didn't really tell me much about Warhammer. I mean, it's generally, I mean, you've got your dwarves, you've got your elves, you've got your yada yada. It's Lord of the Rings essentially, but slightly different. So I don't really know much about it, and that's where I feel like I might lose people, perhaps. Like, if they're gonna watch someone's Let's Play, and maybe they'd rather watch a Let's Play from someone who actually knows stuff about Warhammer, rather than someone who doesn't know jack shit about Warhammer. So that's the one gripe I've got with it. But again, though, like, essentially it's just orcs, elves, goblins, dwarves, etc. I mean, it's a pretty standard fantasy thing, right? Like, I don't know, but that's my one gripe, is that I just don't know much about Warhammer. So I am watching, and I will be watching more videos as well of like people are releasing currently, like teaching about Warhammer and such. I think that'll be quite useful. So that's the one thing that I wasn't too happy with. But now that I've sort of come to terms with that, I'm definitely looking forward to it. As again, from what we've seen so far, it definitely looks pretty good. I mean, that's mostly really what I wanted to say. It's kind of a pointless video essentially, but I've had this question so many times, and I'm still getting this question, like, oh, are you excited for Total War Warhammer? Are you gonna Let's Play Total War Warhammer? Well, I mean, that question, like, generally just assume it's a yes. Like, if there's gonna be a new Total War game, of course I'm gonna do Let's Plays on it. Even if there's gonna be an Empire 2, I'll still do videos on it, even though I haven't done Empire 1. But that's just because I started doing Let's Plays later, and I just haven't really gotten around to getting to Empire yet, because there's still so many other Total War games I'm interested in as well, like Medieval 2, for example, too. And then there's a few things like that I just want to clarify that isn't really my job to clarify at all, but I'm sure some of you are not aware. I've seen a lot of people, not necessarily on my channel, but just generally, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, I don't care for Warhammer, now they're going in a different direction, yada yada, blah blah blah, I haven't done any fucking research. The thing is, there's two teams working at well, there's several teams, because there's also working on the Arena, of course. There's several teams working on Total War games at Creative Assembly. One team is currently obviously working on Warhammer, and they were doing so before Attila was released started. They were doing so perhaps even before Rome 2 was released started. I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, they're separate teams. Like, just because they're doing Warhammer now, it doesn't mean there's not another game in the historical line already in development. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that, or aren't willing to listen, or whatever, or they just still haven't found out about this. But people don't seem to get that there are several teams working at CA. The team that's currently working on Warhammer isn't working on the historical game. They're not working on Arena. The team that is working on Arena isn't working on the other games, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they work, or like some other people do several things for all the games. But, you know, like, generally they've got separate teams working on separate games. So there is going to be an historical game again after Warhammer, and it's not going to be like 5 years down the line, because there's a different team working on it. So like, that whole thing where people are super confused about that needs to go away, because like, people need to do their research sometimes before complaining about things. I see so many complaints about things like that, and it just annoys me. And I always feel like I have to sort of explain things, because it just, like, I hate seeing stupidity, I guess. But we're getting a bit off track here. So yeah, basically, I am excited about Total War Warhammer. Actually, really, I want to keep my excitement down, but I'm actually really excited, especially after I saw that video. That excitement has died down a little bit since it's been a month, but I'm sure they'll release more footage again soon. But it's looking pretty good, and I have some questions myself as well. One of them I asked Lionart, and he was going to ask CA because he wasn't quite sure himself. For example, one of my concerns is the fact that, if you weren't aware of this yet, but you probably are, there's going to be essentially 3 parts of the game. They're going to release Total War Warhammer, and then they're going to release 2 expansions, and I don't know if they're actually going to release DLC as well, but they're going to release expansions, 2 of them, so it's going to be like a 3-way game, essentially. I guess you could sort of compare it to StarCraft. Anyway, so what my concern is, especially for Let's Players, but generally for everyone, but for me as a Let's Player especially, is how is it going to work with, you finish, like, say you start a game, a campaign on the first game that's released, and then a year later they release the expansion, but you start a game, you finish it. Then when the expansion is released, will you be able to import that save, or will you be able to continue, or is it just done? Do you have to restart the campaign with that same faction if you want to continue on into the second part of the world and the third part when that gets released as well? I assume there will be some kind of like, well, save syncing, whatever. You can use your save game and continue on, but how is that going to work? Like, if you finish the first game, is there going to be like a cutscene that says, well, you finished, yada yada, congratulations, you can continue playing now, or you can end it here, just like in Shogun 2? Or do you just not get a cutscene until you finished it in the third game? There's things like that are just confusing, or, well, are still questions to me, and I haven't had the answer yet, and I hope I will at some point. because that's something I'm somewhat concerned about, and just for the simple fact, because if it doesn't continue on, if you can't continue the game from where you started, or sorry, from where you left off, like after when the second expansion is or the first expansion is released, and if you can't continue on from there, from a Let's Player's point of view, it's going to be very annoying, because people are obviously then going to be looking for people doing Let's Plays on like the full game once both expansions are out. They're not going to be wanting to see a Let's Play from someone who only did like the first third of the world, if you understand, or if you catch my drift. It's a bit hard to explain, I guess, but anyway, so that's like my thoughts. I mean, I still got some questions, I've still got some concerns, but generally the gameplay looks pretty good. And I just noticed that I'm basically about the length of the Blackfire pause video now, so I've probably wrap this up or something. So yeah, I'm excited, but I'm still keeping down my excitement because I don't want to fall for it again. I mean, I'll still play it, even if it turns out to not be great. I'll still want to play it, obviously, and I'll still do Let's Plays, and I'll probably want to do Let's Plays on all the factions, and I'll probably do co-op Let's Plays if that's still in the game. I'll do tons of stuff just to get that out of the way as well, because essentially my channel is a Total War channel, just with other games as well, but Total War still remains my major focus. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Otherwise, this video is going to go on too long. So I hope you guys like what I've said. I hope you understand, etc. And yeah, again, what I said in the beginning, I do kind of want to do like a sort of walkthrough myself, or just like a reaction video to the videos that they release, like the gameplay videos. But I need to get my hands on like the raw footage, essentially, without commentary, because I don't really want to do it with like videos I download off of YouTube, like this one, because then the quality is a lot worse and there's no audio, which is just a lot shittier. But anyway, that's where I'll leave it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good day and goodbye.